Welcome to today's episode. We're excited to have Dr. Bing Chen with us, a prominent environmental engineer and academic leader. As chair professor at Memorial University of Newfoundland, he focuses on marine and coastal pollution in Arctic regions and uses artificial intelligence to enhance environmental decision-making. With a remarkable publication record and leadership in global pollution networks, Dr. Chen is dedicated to advancing sustainability. Join us as we explore his inspiring work and the innovative solutions he's developing to tackle pressing environmental challenges. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Step T with El Sayed. Today, we have a special occasion of having that Step T episodes from the IWA World Water Congress and Exhibition. And we have a very special guest today. Our guest today is Dr. Bing Chen. Good morning, Dr. Chen. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. Beautiful day.
I think it's too early for us to wake up during the conferences.
I know.
Oh, by the way, what is your favorite drink?
Oh, tea.
Oh, so
I usually drink coffee in the morning.
Okay.
And in the evening, I drink tea.
Okay, that's so we're on the right spot. So
Exactly. I like it. I like
You're
it.
gonna
Yeah.
get it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who's Bing?
Okay. That's a big question. Oh, small one. So, in brief, I'm Bing Chen. I'm currently a professor and research chair with the Memorial University of Newfoundland.
Yes.
And I'm also the director of a laboratory I call the NRPOP, the Northern Region Persistent Organic Pollution Control Laboratory.
Yes.
I'm also leading a global network I call People. So, yeah.
Yes.
The slogan is people create environmental problems, our people to help find solutions. So
Okay.
people in short, but the full name is P is persistent,
Right.
E emerging, O organic, and pollution is PL in the environment, the last E.
Oh, how
So-
did you make that to come that much?
I know. People love it.
People create problems.
Yeah.
There is people.
That's my pin. That's my pin. Yeah.
Okay, I got
Yes.
it now. Okay. Can you maybe take us back about maybe 20 or 30 years back about your childhood?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's why I chose environmental engineering as
Okay.
my career. I can tell you, I was born in China. And my name, very interestingly, coincidentally, that's also indicates my destination. My Chinese name, Bing, in Chinese is ice.
Oh.
And in ice, if you write the Chinese letters, the right-hand side is water. So that's my destination. I'm doing water research. I love water and now doing water research. So you see, that's very interesting. And because my parents, they are working, my dad is a geologist.
Oh.
So I was, exposed to the nature when I was really little, and they brought me into the nature. I love nature. I enjoy, right?
Okay.
Like treasure hunting, right? Something like that, and picking up the mushrooms, and especially the rocks. That's my favorite.
Okay.
You know what? It's very interesting. Every time I travel, I want to bring some gifts for my family.
Yes.
And myself, my dad, very easy. Pick up rock.
Oh, really?
Something special, special shape, special color, special formation. That's good. It is heavy, and I'm heavy. Although sometimes it's a bit heavy, but yeah, I think that's really the very fundamental from bottom heart about protecting the nature. And then later on, I got the chance and continue as a career. So I'm really happy. I enjoy my life, enjoy my work.
That's awesome. So now I don't have a challenge if I want to buy you a gift. I just got some.
Oh, yeah. You know that, right?
Especially I'm teaching geology.
I know.
So I have a lot of rocks in my
Exactly,
office and my
exactly.
lab, and my little daughter loves rocks. So when I get her a set of rocks or minerals, she enjoys that.
Exactly.
That a lot.
My daughters too, yeah.
Aside from the rock, how was your school during your childhood?
Oh yeah, I think I got educated in China, and till I finished my bachelor and master, and then I came Canada for PhD, right? So I think really feel appreciated. I absorb the nice, the beautiful, the most important things from both culture, and also the traditional Chinese education and the Western education. So I still quite enjoy, the hybridization, and I see the benefits from both, right? So in the childhood, like you said, the schools, primary, junior, and high school. I think Chinese education, very important point is the fundamental training, mathematics, later on physics, chemistry. Of course, at that time, you feel bored. Too many exams, too many quiz, practice. But later on, I realized that really helps.
Okay.
Make your mindset really quick and solve problems.
Yep.
On the other hand, you see, I also see the education in Canada, especially. My daughter was born in Canada, and so I observed education. I realized the difference. Yep. There's a lot of in common.
Okay.
Right, but there's some difference. Like they really, allow the students the more freedom to do creative things. So I think that's really good. Yeah. So that's why, if they can work together beautifully, they really can keep the beautiful balance. Fundamental practice, creative thinking, and solve problems. That's as an engineer, I think our university we are doing that, right? So yeah.
So you see that an integration between the Chinese education system and the Canadian or the Western education system, if they merge it together, they would do something
That'll be
better.
Perfect. Yeah. I think it's not only Chinese education, it's more Asia, I should say. Right?
Okay.
If you look around, right? So it's kind of a common culture. We really enhance the practice part, right?
Yes.
But I noticed that when I visit China now, I talk to my friends, etc., my relatives, their kids now, the school is kind of follow the style of what we have here. Try to give students more time, space to create things, to do things by enhance, and go to the field. I think it's changing. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So do you remember the first shock that you got when you arrived to Canada, or was it smooth when you came to Canada at the beginning?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. I think the most important, still, there's many challenges, like the culture shock, far away from home, no one except your supervisor, right? So I think that this is why I really appreciate Canada is a country really peaceful. Yeah. People are so nice, so friendly. They didn't treat you as a stranger, right? So I think and even our research group, the faculty, the university, I think that's really the things really help international students.
Okay.
Easily adapt to the new environment. I think that's part of. I'm also associate dean at our university and our faculty, and looking after the graduate programs and students. This is why I personally had experience, so I fully understand the new students come here. Everything is new, it's kind of sometimes it's a little bit scary, right? So even rent a room and how to contact with telephone company, the power bills, a lot of things.
Those
right?
details.
I know the details, exactly. The details. That's why I think we also try our best to help the students.
Yeah.
And also the course, academic, restriction, different things, scheduling. I think that's really, a transition.
Yes.
And another thing is the language, right? Okay. So, like in China, we learn English for sure, but the English, what we learned, like even pronunciation, now you can tell my pronunciation is not purely Canadian, it's still blended. So I think that from the very beginning, the training, because the reality is, when I was the childhood, the English teacher, they usually trained by UK system.
Okay.
So you can imagine the pronunciation, but later on, there are some teachers trained by US. So it's kind of mixed. We got lost. Okay. So one sentence you'll see, oh, there may be
Sometimes
some
they are-
accent from UK, that's some accent from, right? So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, I think that's, I feel a little bit shocked, and then quickly we adapt. So I think this is why I appreciate all the supporting system.
So what do you want to say to those new immigrants or new students coming and they have that kind of fear about the accent and their language is not good yet? What message you want to tell them?
What I want to tell them is, I want to encourage them, speak out,
Yes.
right? And don't be shy. That's important.
Yes.
Because I feel shy, right? And then later on I realize, it's very similar. You stand in their position, right? Like people visit China,
Yes.
don't know how to speak Chinese. They learn, and we always appreciate. Oh, that's good. Go ahead, continue, right? Similar thing, right? People appreciate and encouraging you.
Yes.
Speak out, right? So let's talk, right? And then you very quickly you can pick up. So don't be shy, right? People, no one teasing you.
Yes.
Actually,
totally agree.
they appreciate, they encourage.
Exactly, and this is the common culture here.
I
We
know.
see somebody says, "Oh, we appreciate because we know that you are putting extra effort to
Yeah.
learn this one," and it's an always asset that it's not your first language. You're
Exactly.
speaking it.
It's not your mother tongue, right?
Exactly.
If you speak better than me, then I will feel shame, right? yeah. Yeah.
So you came to originally to Canada to do your graduate study as a PhD. When was the moment that you said, "Oh, I want to stay here in Canada"?
Yeah, I think it's evolving.
Okay.
That's why I really, feel grateful to my PhD supervisor, Dr. Gordon Huang,
Okay.
University of Virginia. He's the one really like the lighthouse, leading us. And I didn't, in the beginning, frankly, I didn't realize I could become a professor.
Oh.
But because his training, his mentorship, and also himself is a model, right? Very successful, renowned, global renowned professor,
Okay.
scholar. So I realized, oh, that's really good, interesting in the beginning. And later on, I really involved. I started to do research, publish papers, get recognized. That's important, right? So I feel, oh, that's also I see professor. Tell you one of the key reason is, that we have the freedom.
Yes.
That's the thing I love.
Okay.
I have the freedom to do what I'm interested,
Yes.
right? We have the freedom to, do the teaching, research, supervise students. That's really the fundamental important thing. I think I really enjoy. And I also see, the society respect us. So I think that's important as a human being. We want to get respected. And we have you can do things you are interested, and you have the freedom to do it. This is a dreamful job.
Yes.
And then I said, why not, right? So of course,
I totally agree.
of course.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when you become professor, you realize you gain the freedom, you also lose the freedom somehow, right? There's no vacation, there's a lot of vacation holiday you can take, but even during the holiday, you know that you need
Yes.
to revise the papers, you need to, talk to students, the research guidelines. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, I enjoy. I think this is my dream for job. Yeah.
So that's amazing that your supervisor and the mentor and the culture, that was the main drive for you to think about the academia in general, to be a professor and to stay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the moment that you took the decision, okay, I'm gonna be a Canadian citizen? Do you remember when that moment? Is it after the PhD, during your study?
Now during my PhD.
During, so you realized that early that, okay, this is the culture and the country that you can continue your life.
I think that I'm still very proud of being a Chinese and also being a Canadian. And even I feel very grateful. My daughter also feel the same way.
Okay.
Feel proud of the two cultures. But when I did my PhD later stage, and also the reality is there.
Yeah.
If you are PR or citizen, to find a job, because there are many job positions, there's a priority given the PR or citizens, right? So there's many reasons. Then we said, okay, why not? Right, so yeah, and I think that's really good for everyone. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. So let's move to a little bit of the professional area that you are working now. If we want to touch base on the research areas that you are working on them or you are interested.
Like I said, the people.
Yes.
There's a persistent, emerging, and organic. So that's the keywords.
Yes.
So what we have been doing, of course, we're looking at water.
Okay.
Water is carrier. Our concern is the human being, our society's healthy condition. Like I always say, environmental engineers or scientists, we are working as a doctor, like a medical doctor.
Yeah.
But we are treating the diseases of the society.
Yes.
Looking at the environmental pollution. Right? So that's myself and my lab have been doing. So looking into the persistent and also emerging contaminants. Like for example, the persistent part is talking about like POPs, persistent organic pollutants. That's according to the UNEP convention.
Yep.
So we're looking at the traditionally that's pesticides. And I did some research on the Great Lakes, the pesticides, pollution, etc. And then we're also looking at hydrocarbons from a variety of industrial activities. Even not only from oil and gas production, also from the shipping industry, from transportation, even from our gas station. So as long as we use oil, we drill oil, we produce oil, we transport, storage, the potential of leakage or even incidental spill, like the Gulf of Mexico oil spill.
Yeah.
That's another thing because hydrocarbons you release to the environment, they will stay there for pretty long time, especially some compounds.
Yes.
The large molecular carbon rings, especially with the benzene rings. And then we also look at the emerging is a big group of compounds growing.
Yep.
We are talking, for example, the recent days people interested in the microplastics. If we have microplastic in our cup, right? The reality is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And that's only, I should say, microplastics is a good example, but that's only a tip of the icebergs. And we are talking about the more toxic, more persistent compounds, chemical compounds in the environment, and we are producing them. Another example is flame retardants. Everywhere, all the curtains, carpet, sofa, and we ban some that's still under use for many compounds. They are still there for decades, even 100 years, and especially in the north. And also we're talking about antibiotics. All in general, we call pharmaceutical and chemical and cosmetic products, PPCPs.
Yes.
That's another big group of compounds.
Yeah.
They are helpful, but they're also causing potential problems if we release to the environment. Then how to recover them or how to remediate if there's pollution already resulted in, right? So I think we are, because by training I'm an engineer, so we do engineering research. That means we not only look at the why, what was the reason, and the source, how they behave in the environment, the behaviors, the fate, transport, the impact. And also, very importantly, we look at how.
Okay.
If that's the problem, how we could resolve it.
Yes.
From prevention, like we could help the industry, government set up the regulations, develop some alternative, cleaner or greener product. If we have the pollution already, how to control them at the end of the PEP, we call it pollution control, right? Stop them from releasing to the environment. That's much easier and less cost.
Yes.
And then if they already cost solution,
That's
how
the
to
biggest
recover,
challenge. Yeah.
right? So that's big. The Chen,
Pyramid,
you know, the opportunities. Right? So I think that's what we're also very importantly looking at environmental solutions and managerial solutions, right? So
I think we can stay for maybe days, weeks, months to talk about them in
Keep
detail.
talking.
but if we pick one example of a research project that you are really working, if you can give us a little bit more details of what you are doing exactly in one of the research areas.
Sure. For example, we recently there a few projects. I cannot give you the identification or specific because there's a confidential information involved. It's more related to industry and all communities.
Okay.
So what we did is we did some monitoring, sampling, and we found PVD, found some microplastics, some emerging contaminants in the soil and the water in the far north Canada. Because another title of mine is Arctic Research Chair. So that's Arctic is the University of the Arctic.
Okay.
So that's the largest research educational network globally around the Arctic. Actually, there's many members. There are more than 200 member institutions. Many that are non-Arctic countries. I think Canada is part of a leading group. So we collaborate. We look at Arctic, subarctic, cold regions, how those pollutants, their existence, do we have them? How much? And what are the impact on the community health and ecosystem? The fish, the whales, like our indigenous people still rely on hunting, fishing. So what would the impact long term, especially within the context of climate change? What happens in the future? And if answer is yes, and some impact, how we can help them. The government set regulation, the industry find the better technology, and the community protect themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's the goal.
The goal for this.
Ultimate goal for our research. So for that projects, actually several projects, we kind of collect the information, the samples, and do the analysis. Surprisingly, we found almost 100% detection of those compounds in the far north, even far away from cities or even big communities. That's really kind of scary. So the next step, we are looking into how to treat them. We developing different like AOP, we call it advanced oxidation process. So we're using different enhancement measures to remove especially those organic compounds. That's one of the most powerful, efficient way. So we are developing those things for industry, for example, shipping industry, oil and gas industry, and also developing some community-based, small, very efficient system to remove the emerging contaminants from their drinking water, from their sewage. Yeah. So I think that's one example,
So aside from the emerging contaminants, because I know that's why I asked you
too much.
the big challenge and the water industry, I said the emerging aside from the emerging contaminants, how do you see what is the biggest challenge in the water industry nowadays or the next decade?
You asked me to stay away, but that's exactly. I should say, as a researcher, both way, right? So we are looking not only now, we are looking at the future.
Yes.
Our water industry, they have been doing very well, I should say. You can see we are healthy. We're drinking clean water, right? So they have done excellent job, for sure. And we have top-notch people, right? The operators, right? The managers, the scientists, the regulators. But what we are looking at is future. Is things becoming. This is why I have to say, for me, I think the challenge is climate change, the background, and within this big background, because the temperature, because the precipitation, because everything is changing.
Yeah.
faster. So we are looking into the pollutants,
Okay.
and they are get into our water system from different pathways, and how to stop them from the very beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So I think that's collectively that's the challenge everybody in the water industry facing.
Yep.
Of course, if you look at the lifespan is growing. That's very good. People live longer.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But how could we live even longer, right? So, and healthier, right? So I think that's our duties.
Yeah.
How to make our water better for not only human beings, for the fish, the birds, animals, everybody, right? So everyone on the earth. So I think that's why we look into those, the emerging contaminants. If we look at them like 20 years, 30 years ago, we don't think that's a problem, right? Now we are looking at PPT, PPV level. It's really trace level, but long term, a lifespan, 75 years even, the impact. So we become more strict because we want to become better. Yeah. So I think that's the challenge. How we could continuously support, as a researcher, to support our regulator to set up, standards, update our standards.
Yes.
Because the technology evolving, our standards must be evolving too, to stay ahead, right? And our technologies, what technology we can develop to provide our industry partners, they can use.
Yes.
Not very costly. It's reasonable price, but how more efficient power. So I think that's what we need to do. And our community. Educate, and we share our knowledge, what we learned, and let them understanding better. So I think that's what our duty is, right?
I totally agree with you. And I know it's very challenging that when you said providing solution to the industry, for example, or the community, and that can only happen when you collaborate with industry and the municipality and to listen to them and have that. So you definitely collaborate with multiple industries, municipalities. How that collaboration impacted your research performance?
That's a good question. Frankly, I struggled in the beginning.
That's a good point, because a lot of early careers have the same issue.
It's not that easy. You directly, come on, let's collaborate, let's do it, right? So
this way.
You need to gain the understanding first and the trust. I think that's the key, the trust.
Okay.
So when you're working, if I'm talking to a junior faculty member, I would like to suggest them, you approach industry partners, community, government partners. That's definitely encouraging, but you need to consider if you really understand their needs, right? Because you only standing from academia position. I want to publish a paper. Nature, science, right? So I want to find a scientific problem. That's good. And my tech is highly innovative, right? It's floating in the air, right? You need to touch the ground. Yes, you need to talk to people really working in the front line and understand what they are doing and what they need. That's I think the most important thing.
The point.
Then you have the common ground, you can talk. Otherwise, people say, good, and forget it. So that's the reality. I learned the lesson. And later on, I work in the front line with people and make your hands dirty, white, and then that's the problem. Let's talk. How can we help?
Yes.
Right? And then you realize our partners, they are open. They appreciate realities. They appreciate. If you really can help, they really appreciate. And they really supporting.
Yes, I agree.
And the partners I have been working with, I really appreciate. They're lovely people. They really support. I think that's the trust you gain.
Yes.
During the process, you understand and develop the relationship.
Yes.
And then you trust each other. Right? So.
And you speak the same language. This is a comment that I got from.
Exactly.
He said, Sayed, you are an academic. Your people are not speaking the same language that we are speaking.
Exactly. I know you're speaking English, but what that means, right? On the other hand, that's also I learned our students. This is why I always encourage and support them, give the opportunity, let the students work in the plant. Go talk to the engineers. Work with them, right? Because our students, they have no idea. And they talk their language, right?
Yes.
And they don't understand what engineers saying, doing, and on the other hand, the engineers, operators, you Siri, right? You Siri, okay. You this high tech. So, and also they don't really understand the, the challenge in practice, the cost, the maintenance, right? Those, it seems routine every day happens, but that sometimes becomes most challenging part, right? That, like in our lab, we can theoretically treat any dirty water into one you can drink. But the reality, no, that's not the solution, right? So our students, especially junior students, they don't understand.
Yeah.
They basically just learn from the textbook, journal papers, and the lab, right? So this is why I think that's another thing we owe to students.
Yeah,
go out.
I echo what you are saying, and that actually it was interesting. Last night we had a dinner, and I was chatting with Dr. Wayne Parker from Water.
Yes, Water. Yes.
And Embry from Brown and Caldwell.
Okay.
And we're talking about the quality of the graduate students.
Yeah.
And we said it would be great if we make it like a mandatory for the graduate students to get an internship with the industry.
Yeah.
Something not an optional, because some professor can have that luxury of collaborating with industry, so the student get that engagement. But if we can put it as a mandatory requirements, that will enhance the quality of the graduate students.
Exactly. I fully agree.
Yeah.
Internship is a very good approach. Yeah.
But going back as a professor, or what are the many challenges that you are facing when you are collaborating with the industry? So you reach the industry, but there are some other challenges as well when you deal with the industry.
I think that the challenge, one of the key challenge, I think for not only for me, I observe for all the researchers, especially engineering research, we develop new technologies. We want the technology transferred to the reality, be part of their practice, and improve the production and reduce the emission.
Yes.
But always there's a gap. The technology we developed works very well in the lab environment. But how about the real operational condition?
Yes.
Large scale, no one can answer that. And the challenge is the industry, they're interested, very much interested, but it's highly risky for them to invest in this stage, right? On the other hand, like a lot of government fundings, they're talking about fundamental research, applied research, but still, if you're talking about transfer from lab to business, there's some funding very good, from INSERG, I2I, MATEX, but frankly, it's not good enough, right? We need more. And we need people or organizations really interested in investing the high risk transition part.
This is a big challenge.
Yeah. We always want to find people can help.
Yes.
Make our technology can be tested as a pilot in the real condition before go to commercialization. So that's really the thing. It's always challenging.
I would say in the pilot, to some extent, it can be achieved with kind of convincing the industry, but at a full scale, a big challenge will come the municipality. Yeah. How are you going to convince the municipality to apply it for a full scale?
Exactly. And the reality is, that's true, I understand. They already have a system, reliable, running for decades. How can you persuade them to adapt a new system? Costly, little bit risky. Even I'm the owner, I will feel, okay. I totally understand, but we have to do that.
Exactly.
Then we can really, help the industry advancing, right? Yeah, that's always a challenge.
Yeah, and that's why maybe attending conferences to meet those people and talk to them maybe away. And as we are attending a conference today, like the IWA World Water Congress and Exhibition Conference, how it's important or why it's important for you as a professor, a well-established professor, to attend the conference?
I think attending conference is if I give advice to the junior colleagues, that's a must.
Okay.
Of course, how many times? That depends, right? But
it depends upon the supervisor who's going to support them financially.
I think that attending conference, there's really a number of values.
Yes.
First thing, you can meet colleagues, you meet peers, and from other universities, you exchange ideas, right? So that's important. You actually, that's a good timing. You can do also examine what you did, and let your peers to criticize them, and also exchange, improve them, your ideas, your technologies, etc. Very important thing, like you said, that's the opportunity you can talk to people from industry, from regulation perspective, and a community, municipalities. You can gain some understanding, and also people, they can understand what you are doing, and you can introduce, you think, you research, and you find, where's the gap, where they want, I haven't done yet, and you can fill the gap next stage. So that's really important. And also that's the important opportunity. You can engage people and attract their interest for collaboration.
Yes.
And collaboration varies. That could be, with a company, let's do a co-apply for funding. Or maybe you provide some contribution, I can apply for Tri-Council funding.
Yes.
Right? That's a really good opportunity. You can do that. Or maybe industry partner, the interest, I can invest this one. Right? That's very promising. Let's do it. Right? You can directly find a sponsor. So I think there's different opportunities. And that's also why not only myself, I always support my students.
Yes.
I cover all the costs, send them to conference, and talk to people and gain understanding. And also I think that's good. We develop our networks. Right? Our students, ourselves, we develop our professional networks and also personal friendship. That's important, I think. Yeah, I always think this is a must and appreciate all the opportunities, the benefits I gained from the conference. Especially like this one, IWA, it's global, right? And that's very important. Of course, we have virtual meetings now.
Yes.
Good thing is easier, convenient, but the screen really block the chemistry.
Yes.
And if you cannot meet people in person, that's unfortunate. You cannot achieve sometimes the trust, right? The good understanding. So I think that's, we want to be here, talk to people from everywhere, all the continents, and share our experience. That's the beauty.
You mentioned that the IWA World Water Congress is global conference. And I'm pretty sure that you attend many conferences. How do you see this conference is different than from the other conferences that you typically attend?
Yes, there's many conferences. I think there's some different unique features, I should say. IWA conference, one thing is really global and very dedicated to water, wastewater industry, the sector. Many conferences is more general. Like I'm leading the Civil Canadian Society for Civil Engineering. So civil engineering is really broad. Talking about structure, construction, material, bridge, transportation, environmental, water. It's everywhere, right? It's very broad. We have specialty conferences, but this one is really dedicated to water sector, and and bring in a lot of industry. You see the exhibition.
Yes.
I'm really happy to see them, right? And that's unique. And also a lot of government agencies, they are here.
Yes.
From government labs to the government regulator, policy making, even high-level decision makers.
Yep.
And that's really the opportunity platform people can work together. It's a really good mix of academia, industry, government, community. Because some conference is more dedicated for research.
Okay.
All the people talking about research, right? And some conferences is more practical, all industry. Right?
Yeah.
So I think this is good mix. I should say. I should appreciate and thank our local organizing committee. The IWA headquarters really have the opportunity and spend all the efforts, including yourself. I'm also part of the IOC, so we work together to make this happen. And they're really good for everybody, especially for our students, ourselves, right? So I appreciate that.
I would add my voice to yours for thanking everybody as working on this conference, including the IWA itself, the main organizers, and the local organizing committee with the two main champions of the Canadian Association for Water called CWWA and the CWAQ. And the Young Water Professional chapter in Canada, they are playing a significant role, as well as the volunteers that is from everywhere that they are supporting. So everybody's involved in organizing that conference. A big thank you so much for them. But we always tell our students, as you mentioned, that's very important to send our students to those conferences and ask them to better use the conference and ask them to prepare before you go to the conference. You just not go to the conference and get a chance to do this. Be ready. Do your homework before the conference.
Agree.
So for you as a professor, did you do your homework?
Oh, yeah. Always. I fully agree with you. That's also I suggest my students. Do your homework, right? It's not just showing give presentation, that's done. No.
Right.
You should look at the conference programs.
Yes.
You look at from the plenary keynote speakers to your session speakers, especially the session you are interested relate to your research, right? And look at, even you Google, right? Look at the background to know who they are. And especially you should identify some people potentially you can talk to. You can benefit from your talking, right? And you grow your own network. You develop relationship, right? So I think that's really important. And also, of course, if you present a paper, you need to do more homework. Is not only presenting. It's very important. The questioning period is important. You should welcome different questions during the session, after session, and you should ask people, chase people. Oh, do you have any comments on my presentation, right? On my poster, etc.
Yes.
Right, and absorb those new knowledge, the things you don't know, right? So I think definitely. I also do the similar thing, the homework. This conference, who I want to talk to, right? Yep. So, and what kind of new things, especially look at the abstract, the papers, some new things, I not familiar with, even I don't know, really emerging, so I want to know better, right? And also you want to see the industry, the government, the new trend. And what they are heading to, right? So we understand, gain the better understanding. So I fully agree with you.
Okay, so for Dr. Chen, what kind of session or what are the sessions that you attended or you are planning to attend that is interesting to you?
Yes, I'm going to chair a session right after this interview. It's more talking about emerging contaminants in wastewater. And I also organize a workshop. It's called collective, efforts or collective solution for emerging contaminants and under climate change. So we want to seek some collaborative approach and how people, different aspects, different sectors work together, even not in the water sector. So we welcome everybody join. And how to find a solution for our society. So that's really something, again, as I said, we will look at the future. Yes. And 10 years, 20 years to come. So how we update our system, our standards, technology, knowledge, our education also. So that's what I'm really interested in. So,
other than the session that you are chairing or a workshop that you are organizing, if there is any specific topic or a specific session that you are really keen to attend or to listen to?
oh yeah. There's also a few sessions talking about the young professional. I think that's the next generation.
Yes.
So I will be allowed to provide my contribution and talk to the young professionals and share experience, because we were the young, not young anymore, unfortunately, but we love to share.
Young by heart.
Exactly. Agree. I think that's what I want to, attend, and also some industrial exhibition stands, IWA stands, There's, frankly, there are too many interesting things, and sometimes they happen in parallel, right? So I decide which one I want to go, right? Maybe half.
Speaking about the young water professional, as you mentioned, they are young now, but they are the leaders soon.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, by the way, another very interesting is women. The women leadership, I think that's very important.
Okay, that's
I think that's we are encouraged.
I totally agree with you. So if you have that chance, so this is your camera.
Okay.
If you want to give a message with advice to the young water professional, what would you say?
Wow, that's a big question. So if you are a young professional in water industry, I should say, you have a good choice. This is the sector, this is a career you want to, pursue and also contribute for your whole life. And that's really exciting area, because water is part of our life, part of our body. We want to do things better together, to improve the quality of water, the quantity of water, to support our society, be more sustainable. And you, as the next generation of the professional, especially leaders, and I encourage you to embrace the new technologies, challenges, right? Turn the challenge into opportunities and become our future leader. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chen. It was really lovely talking to you, and I'm looking forward to see you around in the conference and many other events.
Thank you.
It was really honor and pleasure meeting you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.